Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and today I'm going to be showing you how to build this villager trading hall in Minecraft, complete with 36 total villagers, these zombie discounts so you can get those super cheap trades, as well as plenty of storage. You can find a full list of all of the materials that we're going to be using for this build down in the description below. So this is the layout of the build, and what we want to do to begin with here is place down some dark oak logs on top of all of the blue and grey squares. Of course, make sure you count out the gaps in between them so they are the same as what's on the screen. And once we have the first logs down, what we can do for the 4 outer logs is raise them by an additional 5 for 6 in total, and for the 4 inner logs we're going to raise them by 11 for a total of 12 logs. Assuming you've got your measurements right and they're all spaced out correctly, one thing I do just want to highlight is that these taller pillars are meant to be coming out by 1 extra block in relation to the shorter pillars on the front and the back. So don't worry if you're questioning that, it is intended. Make sure you've got it, otherwise the rest of the build won't really work. But now what we can do, as you can see I've done for the back of the build, is I've got some extra logs on top of these pillars. So essentially, for the 2 right-hand side ones, we're going to place them on the left of the top of the pillar like that. And for the left-hand side ones, we're going to place them on the right. So if that doesn't make sense, you can see, just place them as I have done here. The next step is to work on the roof for these 2 smaller sections. So we're actually just going to come to either side for right now. Just come to one of these pillars out the front side. And we're just going to place a temporary block here with another one coming off the front. Then one just to the side like that. Then we're going to go up by a block and place 2 more, up by another block, place 2 more, just like that. Then we can have a slab on this top block and a slab underneath this bottom block. Then we just need 1 slab here, 1 slab here, and same again for this spot. Of course, you can go ahead and do it on both of the 2 sides, but then we just want to grab some more slabs, and then from the bottom half of this full block, so right here, just above the logs, we want to have a line of slabs going all the way over so we connect up to the other side over here, just like that at the same point. And essentially, now we just need to alternate between leaving a space and then a slab, all the way across, just a single gap in between them all, so when we're all done it should look something like that. For the actual roof we're going to be using stripped dark oak logs and dark oak slabs. Starting on this part right here, we're going to have some stripped logs, then we're going to go up by half a block and go to the slabs, and then just do that 2 more times and then 1 more at the top here. So we got log, slab, log, slab, log, and we want to bring those all the way over so they reach the other side. It's at this point, if you haven't already that is, where you can decide which side of the building you want to be the front. And whichever that is, you just want to come to that side and obviously to this roof section that we've done. And we're going to come to this 3 wide gap. And what we want to do to begin with is place 3 coarse dirt just like that from one log to the other. And we're going to cover it up with some spruce trapdoors. Then behind these coarse dirt, on either side, we're going to place 4 stripped spruce logs like that, with a spruce plank in the middle, and then 3 upside down spruce stairs. We can have a sweetberry bush in the middle, and then we're going to make 2 large plants with an azalea bush and a moss on top. And we're going to do that either side. Just above what we've built here, we're going to add 3 smooth sandstone on the right hand side and 4 smooth sandstone on the left hand side. Then we can have 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom, leaving us with a single window, which we can actually swing round to the inside and just place an oak trapdoor so it is flush with the surface of the sandstone. We can have a spruce sign either side of it purely for decorative purposes, and then we're just going to add a spruce slab here, here and here, so it's gradually going up by half a slab each time. Then what we can do, just to kind of separate this sandstone and the spruce, we're going to add a spruce trapdoor here and here. So you're basically making a double thick trapdoor, and we're just going to bring that over to the other log. In the opposite space round the back of the build, you can go ahead and do the exact same thing we've just done for the front. With these 2 sides done, we can come to the longer side around here, and what we're going to do to begin with is just come up to where we have all of these stone slabs, and we're going to have a horizontal line of dark oak logs going all the way across to the other pillar over here, and then we can line the underside of them with some spruce trapdoors, just making sure they're all facing the same way so you don't have an odd one like this, for instance. Kind of ruins the pattern. But then what we can do is just grab some stripped spruce logs, and we're going to take these horizontally again on the floor all the way over to the other side, just like we did above. And then we can grab some spruce trapdoors starting on either side. We're just going to go ahead and skip 1, 2, 3, then place a trapdoor, then 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place another, just a single one now, place one more, then 5 again, and you should be left with 3 once more over here. And on top of all of these trapdoors, on top of the log specifically, I should say, we're just going to place a temporary block here and here backwards, and then break this one. And from this one, we're going to place it horizontally. Get rid of it. So essentially, we're just having a forward-facing stripped spruce log with 3 regular ones on top of that. And of course, go ahead and do that for the remaining 3 where we have our trapdoors. So we're left with 5 sections. Starting in the middle section, just this one wide, we're going to add 4 upside down stairs. That's it. Now we can come to one of the 3 wide sections, and what we're going to do is have a stair in the middle, and then we're going to place 2 stairs either side, but making sure we're facing outwards when we place it so we can curve them round as opposed to this. So just look at the log and place it down. Then we can go ahead and place 2 more upside down spruce stairs like that with a slab in the middle, and then we can have 2 spruce trapdoors either side folded shut. Now we can actually step inside, and we're going to place 3 oak trapdoors just along the top there, come down here, crouch and place 2 more under them all and fold them all shut so we can nicely enclose our window and nothing can shoot through or get through or anything like that. And lastly, for this section, we're just going to add a coarse dirt here, cover it up on all 3 sides with some more trapdoors, and then we're going to make a nice tall azalea bush, and we're just going to switch one of these leaves out for a flowering azalea, just for a little bit of color. As for the 5-sided section, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 extra pillars of the stripped spruce logs, so we have 3 1-wide sections. In the middle one, we can have another horizontal stripped spruce log with an upside down stair and a regular stair at the bottom with an oak trapdoor for a window in the middle. For the 2 sides, we can do a similar thing, stair at the bottom, but a stair all the way at the top this time so we don't have this additional log. And this time, instead of 1 trapdoor, we just want 2 trapdoors. And we're going to make another flower pot sort of thing here. So we need some more coarse dirt, which I'm just going to nab from there. Have it being 3 across this time. Once again, cover all the sides up with some trapdoors. And then we're going to make a bit more of a tree instead of a bush this time. A very small tree, don't worry. We're just going to have a fence at the bottom, skip a block and have a fence at the top, just in front of that stair. Then we can place an azalea leaf in between them, 1 to the side, 1 in front, and another to the side. And then this time, instead of 1, I'm going to go ahead and replace 2 of them for a flowering azalea. Now you can go ahead and copy the 3 and 5-sided sections over to the other 2 that are still empty, keeping them exactly the same, just maybe switch up the placement of the flowering azalea to ever so slightly break the symmetry. The next step is to copy everything we've just done here for the right hand side over to the left hand side of the build. With the 2 sides now finished, we're going to start work on the main section of the roof. So what we're going to do is come up to one of these top pillars here, doesn't matter which one, but we're just going to go ahead and place a chiseled stone brick block on the empty gap right here. So it should be positioned like that on the outside of the build. Then we can do the same on the other side over here, and essentially all we want to do is go up 5 stone brick blocks diagonally. So I have to place a temporary block, then come across one and break it 5 times. So there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5. We can do the same over here, and eventually we'll get up to the top and they will meet in the middle with 1 more right there. Then underneath this central block, we're going to have an upside down stair facing forwards, and above it, we're going to have a slab. And now very simply, we just want to grab some stairs. Starting at this chiseled block, we're going to have a stair on top of all of them, staircasing all the way up to the slab here. Then we can do the same on this side as well. And as you may have guessed, we're going to do that underneath. So starting at the chisel block once again, we're going to have some more upside down stairs going up to this point where we have our stair in the middle, and then going back down the other side and stopping at the chisel block. Then all we have to do on either side is on this chisel block, we're going to have a regular stair. So it's a continuation of the top part. And then over here on the back of this upside down one, we're going to have another upside down one. So it kind of just curves round at the end there. So we can do the same over here, regular stair and upside down stair. Super simple. Before we go ahead and copy it to the back of the build, I made a tiny mistake. This solid block at the top part is meant to be a chiseled stone brick, not a regular one. Okay, now you can copy it round the back. For the two longer sides, we're doing a very similar thing as to what we have for the bottom section of the roof, except this time we're doing slabs and stairs, not just slabs and slabs. So starting on this stair, we're going to place a slab on the bottom part of it, so it's a continuation along, as you can see, and we're going to bring that all the way over to the other stair on the opposite side of the roof outline, just like that. Then what we're going to do from this stair is alternate between slabs and stairs, going all the way across to the other side. And once you got that done, of course, copy it on over to the other side of the roof. To fill in the roof, it is a super simple pattern. All we need to do is grab our stripped dark oak logs, and we're just going to place them on all of these solid blocks going up the roof outline. So on the chiseled stone brick or the full stone brick blocks. And when you place all of them down, you should basically see a stair above and below each one. In most cases, sometimes it's a slab and this stair, but you get the idea. Basically, this is the shape that you want to do, with a dark oak trapdoor on top of every single one of them on both of the sides. And then, as you may have guessed, bring it all the way over to the other side of the roof so you're all finished with this section. With the two sides and the roof now finished, we can come to whichever side you would like to be the front. So this is mine, this is where the main entrance is going to be. And what we can do is grab some dark oak logs, and from this second log in, we're going to count across 1, 2, and on the third block, we're going to place one down on both sides. Then we can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more for a total of 6. And then we're just going to count down 3, and we're going to put a line of 3 across there. So we kind of have this H shape essentially. And then what we can do on the same line, so on this second log back, just above these logs, we're going to have 2 horizontal beams going all the way over, just like that. So if I take a step back, this is what it should be looking like at the moment. All we're going to do for now is just grab some spruce trapdoors, and we're going to make some double thick ones again, just like we did here. So we're going to have one just at the bottom of the log and then one just underneath it. And we just want to continue this all the way along until we reach the pillar on the other side. Just make sure you don't do what I did there at the end and rotate the trapdoor. You do want them all to be facing the same way. For the top section, the upper half of the H, shall we say, we're going to have 3 spruce slabs along the top and then 3 along the bottom. Then we can just step inside, and we're going to place some oak trapdoors on the back of them and fold them shut for some windows, kind of like we have for the sides, so it's all flush at the front. Then for our main entranceway here, what we're going to do to begin with is have 3 stripped spruce logs either side like that, with an upside down stair in the middle and an oak doorway for our entranceway to, of course, get into the trading hall. Then we have to place an upside down spruce stair either side like that on that top stripped spruce log, with a spruce trapdoor in the middle, 2 underneath both of the stairs, and we're going to fold them shut like that. And then on the back of these, we're going to have 3 more trapdoors and fold them all shut like so. Same again on this side. And finally, we're just going to hop up to the top and we're going to place 3 more. So we've got a nice archway heading into the entrance. As for the 2 sides, we're going to have 2 long windows, starting with some stripped spruce logs, horizontal at the top and the bottom. Of course, this can be done for both of the sides at the same time if you'd like. Then we're going to have 2 stairs facing into each other, up and down, just like that, underneath the logs and on top of them. Just make sure they're going into each other. And then we can get some spruce trapdoors and we're just going to fold them shut against the dark oak logs. So we kind of have this circular-ish shape. Circle's probably not the right word, but it's a little bit rounded, as you can see. And then on the back of them, just as we've done elsewhere in the build, we're going to start at the top here with these upside down stairs, and we're going to place down 4 oak trapdoors either side for a total of 8. Same again over here, and then lastly, once we've got all of them folded shut, just on the back of the stripped spruce logs, we're going to have some spruce trapdoors. The next step is to build 2 big bushes just here in these 2 spots, starting with some coarse dirt. So what we're going to do is break these 2 in front of the log, 2 to the side of it, and this one here. And we want to make all of them coarse dirt. Of course, do the same over here at the same time if you'd like, or copy it afterwards. Then we can go ahead and break all of these blocks surrounding it. And then we can grab some mossy stone bricks, and we're just going to place in, let's say, 4 kind of at random, and then we'll fill the rest in with regular stone bricks. We're just using the mossy because this is a bush. Maybe it would get some of the leaves on the stone. I just think it's a nice detail to add in. Of course, skip it if you want. But then we can grab some azalea leaves, and what we want to do is just place them on top of all of the coarse dirt, as well as one here in front of this stair and another in front of this stair. And then same as we did for the other side, just to get a little bit of color, we want to mix in some flowering azalea leaves. So we're just going to mix in 3 in total, placed anywhere you would like. So you got that one. Now just copy it over this side too. So there's the bottom half all done. Now time to tackle the top half. And the first thing we're going to do is once again place some more trapdoors, except this time they're just going to be a single trapdoor thick for now. We'll add some more in just a sec, but they need to be in line with these dark oak logs here. And then we can grab some stripped spruce logs, and we're going to go 1 block in and place 7 stripped logs going all the way up to the top right there. So we can do the same over here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, just like that. Then we can grab some spruce stairs, and we're going to add 2 at the bottom facing into each other, and that's when we can now add in the rest of our trapdoors. So we need 3 more in the middle and 1 on either side, just like that. And then what we can do is grab some more stairs, and we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th block we're going to place some upside down ones, where we can have a line of trapdoors connecting them like that, with a line of 5 trapdoors placed on top of them. We do also just need to place in 4 spruce trapdoors against the inside of these logs right here, and then what we can do is actually just step inside, and on these 2 smaller sections, the 1 wide gaps, what we're going to do is grab some smooth sandstone and place 2 of them just behind the trapdoor here, then 2 spruce planks and 2 more sandstone, and same over here. Now from the front, looks a little bit weird at the moment. Just to break it up and make this transition not quite as harsh on the eyes, all we're going to do is add a trapdoor next to the sandstone and then next to the planks on both of them, on of course both of the sides, and as you can see that looks a lot better. Next up, we just want to grab some stone brick stairs and extend our roof inwards in a couple of parts, such as right here and over here on the 1 wide sections. And then we're just going to add 2 more here on either side, and then a full stone brick block at the top. Then we can just hop inside here, and what we're going to do now is place a line of horizontal spruce stripped logs like that, and then we're going to have 2 down like this on either side, and a line of slabs at the bottom and a line of slabs at the top. And then we're just going to place some oak trapdoors on the back of both of these. So from the back it looks like this, but from the front a little bit better, it looks like this. We're going to grab some sandstone to fill in this final gap, starting with 5 across the bottom, smooth sandstone that is, of course. Then we're going to have 5 going all the way up on both of the sides, and 3 at the top, leaving us with this rectangle, which we need to make not so rectangular by placing some stairs in all of the corners facing into each other, leaving us with this shape. And our glass is actually going to be lime colored, and it's for a good reason, because once we've got all of this placed down from the front with the shape that we have, it kind of looks like an emerald, which I think is such a fun little detail. Absolutely love it. If you don't like it, that's fine, feel free to change out for a different color glass, but I think it just ever so subtly kind of tells you what this building is without having to be obvious and write it. It's just an emerald for a trading hall. Before we start work on the back of the build, we are just going to tackle these two sides first of all. So what we want to do is grab some stripped spruce logs and just step inside the build. You're probably going to need some scaffolding for this part, but I'm guessing you've already used that for the rest of the build. If not, I'm not sure how you've managed it. You must be a wizard or in creative mode like I am. But anyway, what we're going to do is start off by adding in 1, 2, 3, and 4 stripped spruce logs on the far side like that. Then we're going to leave a gap and place in 4 more. Then leave a gap of 3, place it again, and then another gap of 3 and place some more. Then we're going to have a gap of 1 this time, another gap of 3, another gap of 3, and then finally a gap of 1, which is symmetrical to both of the sides and should look like this. Then we can come round to the front, and all we need to do on the bottom log of all of these from the outside, so not this one, but the second one up, I guess, we just want to place in a spruce trapdoor. And on the next block, just for another bit of detail, we want to go around and place in a sign. Just a very tiny detail. When you run along, don't make sure you type something like that. You don't want anything written on the sign. They're just meant to be a nice little decoration and not really a sign at all. It's kind of just meant to look like something else to break up the blankness of the log. We're back inside the build now for the next step, which is to grab some smooth sandstone, and on all of the 1 wide sections, super simply, we're just going to go ahead and fill them in with some smooth sandstone blocks like that. As for the 3 wide sections, what we're going to do is have a line at the bottom and a line at the top on all of these. Same again on this side too. So just 3 at the bottom and 3 at the top. That was the wrong way around, but you get the idea. So we're left with this. Then next to all of the logs here, we just want to add in 2 more on all of these sections, leaving us with 2 blocks in the middle for all of these, which we can actually head back outside now to do this. And all we're going to do is place a stair at the bottom, smooth sandstone of course, with a trapdoor, oak this time, on top of it for a window. And as you may have guessed, you can go ahead and do all of that on the other side too. Now for the last side, the back of the build. So what we're going to do to begin with is grab some stripped spruce logs, and we're going to come inwards to this second log right here, and we're just going to leave a gap, place 1, leave a gap, place 1, all the way across. So we have 4 of these, and we want them to be 6 blocks high. So we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we can just do that for all of these, bring them up to the same height. And then we're going to do a similar thing as to what we have for the front with the horizontal thick log going across. So it's 2 blocks just like that, stacked on top of each other, just above the stripped spruce logs, going all the way across horizontally to the other side. And then, as we've been doing quite a lot recently, we just want to grab some more spruce trapdoors, 2 of them under each other, and we just want to go ahead and place them connecting up to the other side. Starting on the central gap in between all of these pillars, what we're going to do is have a spruce stair at the bottom, upside down spruce stair at the top, and then we're just going to have a line of spruce trapdoors, not oak trapdoors, spruce trapdoors this time, going all the way down. For the 2 outer sides, they're the same. So what we're going to do is start with a spruce stair, then we're going to have an oak trapdoor, then an upside down stair, regular stair, oak trapdoor, and an upside down stair. Then we can do the same over here again. So stair, stair, another 2 stairs, and then 2 oak trapdoors for 2 windows. So right now we have this. For the 2 remaining gaps, we're going to start with a spruce stair at the bottom, then a spruce trapdoor, and an upside down stair. Then we're going to place in 2 spruce fences and a spruce plank on top. So same again on this side, 1 stair, 1 trapdoor, and another stair upside down, 2 fences, and then a single plank. Go ahead and grab some more spruce trapdoors, and we're going to have a line of these level with the dark oak logs going all the way over. Then we just want to come to the center, and just for now we'll place a single strip log, and then go ahead and place some trapdoors on top of the ones either side to make them just that little bit thicker. Then we can go ahead and bring this strip log all the way up until we can possibly go, so this point right here, then we can stop. And what we can do then is grab our smooth sandstone, and we're just going to come down to the bottom here, and we're going to have 4 along here and 4 along here. Then we're going to go up 4 or 5, sorry, either side up until this point here, and have 2 more. So we should have a 4 by 2 gap for a window, which we can do on both of the sides just like that. And then for the rest of these blocks, we can just fill them on in. So there's 3, 2, and then 1. Same again on this side. Now we can go ahead and grab some more stone brick stairs and do what we did for the front and just kind of extend these inwards. So there's 4 on either side, just making sure they're all upside down, of course, and not something like this. We just want them to look the same as the outer ones. Then we can go ahead and grab some spruce slabs, and from this stair right here, so essentially half a block up from the start of that window, we want to have 3 slabs, then go up by half a block and have 2, up by another half a block and have 1, and then just copy it on over to this side as well. For the 2 windows here, we want to start by adding in 8 oak trapdoors, all folded flat against the wall like that. Then we can grab some spruce trapdoors, and we just want to place them on these 2 blocks here, but we're going to place this one facing into the log here. So we want to place 1, 2, 3, 4 and fold them all flat. Then we're going to do the same on the other side and place 4 of them, folding them all flat. So you should be able to place a full block behind it, but we're not going to place a full block. We're actually just going to place a spruce sign at the top trapdoor as well as at the bottom trapdoor. So it kind of looks like a shutter design, just something to make it a little bit more interesting instead of just having a window. So do that for this side too, and of course you can do it for the other window as I've already done. I nearly forgot, right at the bottom here, we're just going to build some more bushes because this is a lot of spruce and we need to try and break it up and drag the attention somewhere else. So what we're going to do is break 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 blocks that we're going to put some coarse dirt on top of. And then starting here, all of the blocks surrounding them, we just want to go ahead and break. So we're left with this, which we can then grab some mossy stone bricks, and we're going to place 6 of these in total at random. Doesn't really matter, same as before, just that's a bit too even actually. I've accidentally placed that perfectly symmetrical. Something like that will do, and we'll have 1 more here, and we'll fill the rest in with some stone bricks. And then what we can do is place in 2 flowering azaleas in each of the 2 corners. Then 2 spruce fences on the next 2 spots with a regular azalea leaf on top of that one. And then in the center, we'll have 2 spruce fences this time, azalea leaf, flowering azalea, another azalea, and then 2 more on either side. So that is the exterior of the trading hall all done. The final thing I'm doing here is just making a small simple pathway leading into the trading hall because I think it makes it look that tiny bit better, but of course that is totally optional. You don't have to have a pathway. But that's the outside. Let's head inside and get started on the interior. Starting with the trading setups themselves, we're going to tackle these first of all just because it'll be a little bit easier without having everything else in the way. So we have 4 of them in total. We've got 2 downstairs, 1 either side, and then 2 more upstairs that are slightly smaller either side. But for right now, we're downstairs. Let's do these first of all. So the first thing we're going to do is just come to one of the corners where we have these logs next to the sandstone, come down to this block and go in by 1, 2 and break the 3rd one as well as the next 2 here, just like that. Give you a bit of a reference point so you can make sure you're at the same part of the build that I'm at. That way it'll make sense for everything else to come. So we got those 3 broken. We need to then break 2 more all the way down. Place some spruce planks to put our redstone on top of, just a little bit neater, and you're not going to accidentally break it that way. Going to have a redstone dust, then a redstone repeater, and a sticky piston with a spruce trapdoor on top. And that's all we need to do, 9 more times going all the way down. And all you need to do simply is just leave a single gap and then do it again. And in the end, you should get to the same point on the other side as where you started, having all of these gaps in the floor filled with redstone. And the next thing we can do is grab some oak planks and some levers, and we're just going to break all of these blocks in this line that we haven't already broken. Obviously the one with the redstone on isn't there anymore, so don't worry about breaking it, but we're just going to have these oak planks coming all the way over, covering up the redstone as well. And then once we got all of these all the way along, we can grab our levers, and in front of all of these gaps, we're just going to place a lever. And as you can see, when flicked, it will extend the piston. This is related to the zombification, purification, whatever you want to call it, allowing the villagers to be eaten and then cured. So that's how you get up and down to the zombie, which we can actually start on now, making his trough where he's going to stay. So to do that, we just need to come to this back line of dirt blocks, and we're going to break them 2 blocks down, going all the way across. Like so. And once we got this big long walkway for the zombie to walk along and nibble at the villagers' ankles, what we can do is actually place a line of spruce planks going all the way along the bottom here for the zombie to walk on. And then we can actually break these blocks at the back here underneath our spruce logs that we have here, and we're just going to replace them. Whoopsie, try not to break everything else in the process, but we're going to replace them with some spruce planks too. Not that any of this is particularly visible, but you can kind of see through the villager stools that they have, and I think it's just better to replace it as you go. We can even replace these dirt blocks here with some spruce, even though we're going to be covering it up soon. By default, we want the pistons to be pushed upright, then the villagers are going to be safe from the zombies. So before you forget, we're just going to go around and do all of that and extend these. Then we can grab a sea lantern, jack-o'-lantern, glowstone, any lighting block, whatever you want, whatever you can get your hands on easiest. I'm just using sea lanterns because I think it looks nicest, even though it's not visible at all to anyone other than the zombie. But as you can see here, either side of the sticky piston, I'm just placing one of these down to light up back here, so we only get the single zombie there, not any other unwanted mobs. Next up, we're going to go ahead and place an oak plank in front of all of these levers that we have, and on top of these is actually where our workstations are going to be going. Now, just temporarily, I'm going to stick a crafting table here and actually wait till the villagers are in position before I give them all of their workstations. It's kind of just like a placeholder and something that the villager isn't going to latch onto before they're meant to be. So I kind of wait until they're ready for their workstation before I give it to them, if that makes sense. So it doesn't have to be a crafting table, just some sort of placeholder temporarily. In between all of the placeholder blocks that you have, go ahead and stick a chiseled stone brick block just like that. Then we're going to have a stone brick, a regular one on top of the chiseled, and then on top of all of the stone brick blocks, we're going to have a stone brick stair facing towards us just like this. And then in between all of the stairs, we're going to have another full stone brick block going all the way along, and on top of this full blocks, we're going to have a slab just like that to create this pattern here as the facade of the trading system. And finally, all we need to do now is just stick a spruce trapdoor underneath these 4 blocks here, and this is to stop the villagers escaping. So when you're cycling through their trades trying to find the perfect stuff, breaking and replacing the block, they're not going to be able to get out of this because they're stood on the trapdoor and they're not going to be able to fit through. As you see, I can't unless I shift, so the villagers definitely won't be able to escape. We're just at the back of the setup at the moment, and all we're going to do on top of our lighting blocks is place 2 stone brick blocks going all the way along. This is, of course, to separate the villagers into their individual cells. Doesn't sound great when you put it like that, but it's kind of true. And then from this top level underneath the trapdoors, we're just going to have a line of stone bricks going all the way along, which, as you can see, make sure you go all the way to the end, nicely confines our zombie down here, and they're not going to be able to get out anywhere, and they'll still be able to reach all of the villagers. The only thing we need to do, just to kind of close him in a little bit, he doesn't actually need these 2 end spaces here, so just go ahead and place in 2 more stone brick blocks over this side and this side. That way he's just even closer to the villagers and he'll be able to see them all, no problem. Now, eventually we are going to be placing some slabs and stairs along this section to cover up the tops of the villager holding pens. It still doesn't sound great, even that. But for right now, there's no villager inside of it, so we don't really want to cover it up. So we will be placing some blocks here to make it look a little bit better and to keep the villagers safe, but we'll wait till we move them in. So for now, this side is done. We can go ahead and copy everything we've just done here over to this side too. So with both of these done, you could theoretically move some of the villagers in if you wanted to, but me personally, and in this video, I'm going to be leaving it to the very end once we've finished absolutely everything, including the 2 trading halls upstairs, and then we'll just move them in as the very final thing, followed by the zombie at the back. So we're going to do all of the building and then that, but if you want to go on ahead, please feel free. Anyway, the next thing we're going to do is grab some ladders, and we're just going to come to this back wall here, and we're going to place them along all of these blocks here, all the way up to that first dark oak log. Now, if you're on bedrock, you're not going to be able to do that because for some weird reason, you're not allowed to place them on the back of a trapdoor. So you got a couple of options for you bedrock people. You could just switch out the trapdoors for some full blocks or just place ladders to the side. It's up to you. But for everybody else, just go ahead and stick them in the middle. Then we can grab some spruce stairs, and what we're going to do is just come to the 2 sides here, and we're going to have 2 stairs facing inwards like that, and then the rest of them are all going to be facing forward so that when they connect to the outer stair here, it curves around to the side. And just above that, we're going to have some horizontal strip spruce logs going across from one side to the other, and we can copy this over to here too, so starting with the stairs and of course having the logs on top. And with that done on both of the 2 sides, we do actually need to make the ladder a little bit taller. It's not going to quite reach to the 2nd level, so we'll go up by 1 more block, and then just for now we'll stick a strip spruce log here. We'll eventually bring that up a bit more, but we need a ladder there to get us all the way up to the next level. That's where it's going to start. Not down here, that's my bad. But now what we can do is start work on the ceiling to the 1st floor, which is also going to be the floor to the 2nd floor, if that makes sense. So we'll start with these logs over here that we already have placed down, these stripped dark oak logs. And essentially all we're going to do is go to a dark oak slab, and we'll just go 3 across for now. And then we're going to go to a log. Then we're going to go to a slab and then a log, and essentially we're just doing this all the way across to the other side. And once we have that done, you can probably see where we're going with it. We just need to bring it all the way over to the other side of the building to complete our ceiling. So that's the ceiling all done. The next thing is the floor. We can go ahead and get rid of the remaining dirt blocks that we have left in here. And what we can then do is grab some oak planks, and starting from one back here, we're just going to bring this all the way over to the other side. Same again around here too at the front of the building. Then line ourselves up with the doorway, and we're just going to bring these all the way along until we reach the back over here where we have our ladder. Then we're left with 2 very long rectangles, and the first thing we can do is grab 4 chiseled bookshelves, and we're just going to come into one of the rectangles here, and we're going to place 4 of them in each of the corners like that. Then we can grab some stripped oak logs, and you need to crouch if you're looking at the front of this thing, but we're just going to have some horizontal oak logs going all the way along on all 4 sides. So there's 2 longer ones and 2 shorter ones, making a smaller rectangle left for some more blocks in the middle, which super simply can just be filled in with a whole bunch of oak planks. And of course, if you want to save on resources, feel free to use some slabs instead. It'll be a little bit cheaper then, but there's already enough wood in this build. I'm sure you're not going to mind using some planks for this small part. So there's 1 rectangle done. You can do the same over here too. We're going to be placing a bunch of storage chests in these sections, so before we clutter that up and we still got some room to move in here, let's go ahead and place in our lighting, which is going to be using the chain and lanterns. So starting on these 2 central beams, so just come to the center here, look up, and these 2 beams, 1 block in, we're going to add a single chain with a lantern. Then we're going to go across 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do 2 chains here, either side just like that. Gonna skip another 4 blocks and place some more. This is right in the center, so we're gonna do a single chain this time. Then we're gonna do 4 more and 2 chains, and you can probably see where we're going with the final one that is 1 block away from the very end here. We just want that to be a single chain. We're going to have some more on this beam just above the trading setup we have here. So on the second beam in, starting on this block, so 1 away from the edge, we're just going to have a single chain. Then we're going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place another one, leave another 5 and place 1 more. and then we'll have a final chain here with a gap of 5 and then a gap of 1 at the end. And of course, go ahead and do the same for this setup here. Just above it, place down the 4 lanterns. So let's build all of our storage now, which is going to be going in these long rectangles. So just for now, we can just pick one of them, and we're going to grab some strip spruce logs and place them in all of the corners here. So just diagonally inwards from the chiseled bookshelf, and we'll just place 4 of them. Then come to one of the sides and we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and then place 2 more. We can do that round here too. And then we're going to do the same on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, place 2, 2 more round here, and you should be left with a gap of 5 in the middle. What we can then do is actually place a big long wall of spruce planks. Now we're doing this for a good reason. Essentially, we need to start on this block right here, and we're just going to bring it all the way over to the other side and stop at the same point. Now, this actually needs to be 4 blocks high. It looks a little bit ugly right now, but bear with me, it is just going to get covered up with some chests, but there is a good reason. So essentially, the zombie has a line of sight, and without this wall in place, if you have something like a brewing stand or a grindstone or a smaller, less obstructive workstation, he's just going to look right past this villager here and want to get to these villagers over here, or at least there's a chance. So having this wall in place blocks his line of sight, and he's not going to be able to see, and it's not going to mess with the zombie in the back being able to actually get the discounts from these ones. So we're basically just separating these two so they don't intertwine and mess each other up. So we got this big wall going all the way across, and what we can do for all of these logs is add an additional 4 on top of all of them, so they are all 5 blocks high, which should leave you with something like this. Now what we can go ahead and do is grab some spruce stairs, and on this small section right here, the 3 wide bit, we're just going to add 5 upside down stairs like that. Then we can zoom over here and do it again on this side, making sure they're all upside down. Then we can go ahead and hop up to the top here, and we're just going to place 2 spruce planks in between these 2 logs here. And then we can grab some spruce trapdoors, and we're just going to place them on top of all of the logs and all of the planks like this. So there's 3 there, 6 there, 6 here, and then there's 3 more at the back here on this part. What we can then do is grab some spruce slabs, and on this first section, we're just going to have 2 here in the middle, jump across over to this bit, and we're going to have 3 this time. Then on this last bit, we're going to have 2. And then we need to grab some spruce stairs and pretty much just make a ring enclosing us on these slabs. So it's simple. It sounds so cool, but it's not. We'll have 3 here and 3 here facing into us. And then on these 2 open gaps, we'll just make sure we're facing outwards, and we'll place 2 more, and we'll place another 2 more. So we kind of get this enclosed shape right here. And you don't have to worry about mob spawning if for whatever reason it got dark in here. Not that it will with the amount of lanterns. So we can do the same on this middle section, except this side there are 3 blocks in the middle that we need to fill in with these stairs. And then lastly, just once more over here, same as we did for the other side. Super simple, making it just look a little bit better than it did before. And now we're left with some lovely slots to place some chests inside of. So on these smaller sections, the 4 wide ones, we're just going to place in 8 double chests like this. Obviously same again over here too, just 4 on either side like that. But on the middle here, we got a bit more room. We got an extra one in the middle. So what we can do is place a crafting table and 3 single chests on top of it. Make sure you actually place the double ones first potentially, or if not, just click on the side of the chest to turn it into a double on the side of your choosing. But this is the layout that we have here, and you can of course organize your items however you would like, but a little pointer that if you want to follow, you can feel free to. If you put an item frame here on all of the logs next to the chests, you can actually store and organize your items pretty well. So as you can see, each chest has its own item frame, clearly visible. You don't have to click through an item frame to get it or anything, and it just works pretty well. Then you have these 3 here for bulk storage in shulker boxes maybe. Just a thought, if not, do something else. It's of course up to you, but we do have the extra storage around the back here that you can go ahead and fill in as well. And if that wasn't enough storage, you can go ahead and do this another time for the other rectangle too. One last thing to build down here before we can move up to the second level is, you guessed it, more storage. I honestly don't think you can have too much with a big trading hall like this. You get through a serious amount of items and I just feel guilty throwing it away, so I like to have it in storage. So you've got plenty, and you've got even more coming your way now. So next to these two wide pillars here for all four corners, we got a trapdoor at the bottom, so level with a full block like that, so you're able to place a block on top of it, in this case a double chest. Then we'll have another trapdoor here, same again, and another trapdoor here, and same again once more. So 3 extra double chests for even more storage. Maybe this is where you keep your potions for curing the zombie villagers and the golden apples and that sort of thing. But again, it's up to you. I don't want to tell you too much how to do everything in your trading hall, but we just need to do this for these 2 more corners as well. So that is the downstairs level all done, other than moving in the villagers, but now we can head on upstairs and start work on this level. Same with the downstairs, we are going to do the trading setup first of all. Now it is the same design, but obviously the layout is a little bit different, so I will be showing you how to do it, not just telling you to copy it. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our sticky pistons, and we're just going to come over to this side here where we have our ladder. Now there's going to be 2, one on either side, so it doesn't matter which side you pick. I'm going to go with the right side here, and we're going to come to this back line of dark oak slabs, and we're going to count across 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th block we'll have our sticky piston pointing upwards. Then we want to go ahead and place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 more, 1 block apart for a total of 8. So we got 16 villagers up here as opposed to the 20 downstairs. Of course, on top of the sticky piston, as we did before, we want to have our spruce trapdoor, repeater in front of the piston, and then in front of the repeater is the redstone. We're not placing any blocks because we don't need to. We've already placed blocks here so they can go straight on the floor. And yes, don't worry, we will be covering it up. Once we have all of these laid out, we can now come back to the side with our ladder, and we're going to grab a spruce plank and crouch and place it on top of this redstone dust like that, and then another one coming towards the side with the ladder. Then we'll have a spruce stair, then a full plank, and another stair here. So this is how you're going to be able to get up to access the same height as the villagers, which of course will be expanded. But for right now, we're just going to bring this all the way over and then stop once we get to this point here, lined up with this setup that we have. Of course, above all of the redstone, we can go ahead and place a lever and flick it so it comes all the way up to the height that the villagers are supposed to be. And then whilst we've got these extended, in between them all, we're going to go ahead and place a sea lantern. Make sure you don't place them on the outside, otherwise the sea lantern's going to be on show, which we don't particularly want, or whatever lighting block you're using. So we got that done. Now what you can do is go ahead and just hop back here, and from 1 sticky piston, we're going to place a spruce plank on the floor, and then we're going to go all the way along to the farthest sticky piston, and essentially we're just going to fill all of this in with some spruce planks, and this is where our zombie is going to be going. In front of all of the sticky pistons, we can go ahead and place another spruce plank down, and on top of those spruce planks, we can have our placeholder block, whatever it is that you use downstairs, just not a workstation, not yet. Go ahead and grab your chiseled stone brick blocks and just place them next to all of the placeholders like that. And then same as we did for the bottom level, we're just going to go ahead and stick a full stone brick block on top, then a stair on top of that one facing towards us, a full block in the middle, that's not a full block, that's a chisel block, full block in the middle of all the stairs, and then a slab on top of that one. We are getting a little bit close to the roof here. It is quite tight and compact up here, but it does just about work, and I don't think it looks too cramped either, especially not when you're walking around the middle here. You can also go ahead and place the spruce trapdoor underneath that full block there, above where the workstation is going to be going. And then we can go ahead and next to the spruce blocks on the end, just place 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone brick blocks. And we can do that on both of the sides like so. And then just bring it all the way across to keep the zombie contained in their holding pen whenever we get them moved into position. And then we can go ahead and place 1, 2, 3, 4 next to these that we have, and then 2 more here. And we can swing around to this side and do the same thing and nicely cover up all with the redstone so we can't really see it once we get to covering the front up too, but from the side it's not visible anymore. We can also go ahead and place 2 stone brick blocks on top of all of our lighting blocks that we have here, and same as what we did for the downstairs level, we're just going to leave this open until we have our villagers into position, and then we'll cover it up with some slabs and stairs. And that's all we need to do for now, so we can go ahead and copy it to the other side over, of course starting at the same point that we did for the side we've just done, making sure they're symmetrical in the room basically. Once we've got this setup built for both of the 2 sides, we can come over here to our ladder, and we're just going to place in 3 stairs like that, back from these first stairs. Then we'll go up by a block and place in 3 more, grab some planks, and just from the center stair we're going to bring these all the way over to the same point as these ones and extend them by an additional 1, with them all having a block underneath like that. Then we can grab some stripped spruce logs, and we're just going to place them into this middle line of planks on both of the sides like so, that they're all facing the same way as opposed to like that, for instance. So we all want them facing this way. Then we're going to grab some spruce stairs, and we're going to place 2 of them facing outwards next to this log with a plank underneath them, and another spruce stair here so we can actually get up this way to reach the platform in the middle. And lastly, we just want 2 more planks here in between the stairs. Now we can come to the side with our ladder again, and we're just going to grab some more stripped spruce logs and place these on top all the way up until the very top of the roof right here. We can also do a similar thing round the back of the build over here too, starting on these 2 spots. We're just going to bring them up until we cannot any longer, so it matches up with these over here, and same again on the other side too. And then lastly, for now, all we need to do is grab some stripped dark oak logs, and we're just going to have a horizontal line right in the middle here going all the way across until we get to this side over here. We do need to make our lime window here look a little bit nicer, so all we're going to do is just come down to the bottom here, and we're going to place in 2 upside down stairs just like that with a slab in the middle. Then we can crouch and place in 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 spruce trapdoors and just fold them all flat against the glass. Same again over this side here, just making it look a little bit better so we can only see it from one side and we don't have to see it from the sides or the top. So go ahead and place 3 more like that. As for some lighting up here, because currently we have none other than the sea lanterns back there, what we're going to do is just come to the top center part of the roof, the logs we've just placed down, and we're going to start 1 block in, place a chain with a lantern, and we'll do that on the other side too, chain and a lantern, and then we'll skip 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, place another one, 1, 2, 3, 4 and another one, and then a final one with a gap of 4, which should leave you with another 4. And there we go, that will nicely light up this upper level here. We're also going to place down some spruce trapdoors against all of these logs here. Now it's a little bit finicky because obviously we've just built this, but essentially all we need to do is on the front face of these logs going all the way across to the other side is place the trapdoors down. So that one's fine to do, so's this one should be no trouble either, and honestly this one will probably be fine too. It's just this one down here gets a little bit tricky. You might have to kind of like place some temporary blocks so you're able to actually come along here without falling down the hole. But you get the idea. You just want to cover up the front side of all of these logs for both of the sides all the way along the ceiling. A little bit like this. And when you're all done with that, we can go ahead and grab some chests and add our storage. Now, there's not as much room up here to put all of your items, but that's okay. Downstairs definitely makes up for that. But what we're going to do is just come to one of the corners here and temporarily break these 6 blocks. And what we're going to do underneath the trapdoor is start by placing down 4 double chests like that. Then we're going to just step back a bit and place down 4 more. And this one is right here why we've broken these blocks, so we can actually place all of these down nice and neatly, and then afterwards we can go ahead and fill that back in like so, giving us 12 double chests per corner. These are all the same, so we can go ahead and do this for all 4 of these corners. With our 12 chests in all 4 of the corners, there's only one final thing to do before we can call the build done and start moving in these villagers, and that is the blocking barricading wall between these two so we don't cause problems with them pathfinding or anything like that, as we discussed downstairs. So the first thing we're going to do, because of course they're helpful, stick a crafting table here next to the window on the end block, and then same over here with the final one here. So not the stair, but the first spruce plank. Then we can go ahead and grab some chiseled bookshelves, and we just want to crouch and place all of these all the way over until we get to the other crafting table here. Just make sure they're all facing to the side and we don't see this texture. We're basically trying to make use of this texture right here. But now we can grab a stripped oak log, and we're just going to place 1, 2, and 3 of those on top of the crafting table with an oak slab on top of it. And then we're going to go ahead and place 3 oak planks with an oak trapdoor. Then we're going to go back to the oak logs with a slab and essentially just rinse and repeat until we eventually make our way to the other side. With that dividing wall now in place, the trading hall is finished, so we can start moving in the villagers, and we're actually going to begin down here on the bottom level. So I'm going to assume you've already got your villager situation sorted. You've bred them all up and they're ready to go in a holding pen. If not, I'll leave a link to a tutorial that I always follow down in the description below. But essentially, once you got your villagers, you need them in something like this. It's just an enclosed area with water pushing them into the corner of a block that you can pick them up with a minecart. Now, it's very important that the corner that they're all being pushed into has a solid block here that the rails are leading into, because if we just get a minecart here, as you see, we push it and it picks one up automatically. Because they're being rammed into that corner, it kind of detects their hitbox and just does it for you whilst keeping them enclosed, and you don't have to worry about them running away basically. So before you start picking up all of your villagers, we do need to sort out the rail leading them into their trading pens. So what we're going to do is just take some blocks and a rail directly into these 2 stairs here. So on the left or the right hand side, whichever you want to do first, take them there. So just make sure we keep all of the blocks that we break to replace later, including this berry bush here. It's unfortunately going to have to go. So we'll just continue our track all the way on in, placing our rails up until this point here, where the villager is ready to fall into this hole. Now, when said villager falls into the hole, they're obviously going to be in their minecart still, and when we break it, it is almost certainly going to just end up in the zombie holding pen here, which we don't want. So just break this block and step into the holding pen, and all we're going to do, just temporarily to stop the villagers from actually spawning in here, quote unquote, from the minecart when we break it, we're just going to fill every single block in with a solid block. I'm just using dirt because it's going to be nice and easy to break. Then we can replace this block back down and we're ready for the first villager. Not before placing a block right here. Nearly forgot about that one. So when the villager comes through on his minecart, he's not just going to skip over this block. He's going to fall into it and sink down. So we'll go get ourselves a villager. We just place our minecart, push it into the wall, and as you can see, here comes one nicely going down the rail and falls very delicately. Lovely done villager into his hole. So now we're down here. He's in his villager pen. We do need to break him out of the minecart, otherwise the zombie thing isn't going to work and it could cause problems. So we're going to do F3 and B. And we're going to wait till he rotates a little bit, and you can see the hitbox of the minecart is different from his, so we can happily swing our pickaxe without fear of damaging the villager. To get the minecart back, we just need to break these 2 blocks here temporarily, push ourselves in, and we'll pick the cart up through the corner, and we can just replace them like that. And this villager is now ready to go. If you'd like to, you can switch out his workstation now, but I think it's a little bit safer just to wait until they're all in their pens ready to go. Then you're going to avoid confusion, and they're not going to be trying to pick up each other's and getting bored of their trades and stuff like that. So you can switch them, but I'm going to wait until the end and when they're all in position. Now, as for what to do to move on to the next villager, very simply, we just want to break this block and move it on to the next one. Now we need to lower this villager down. This is why we get the zombie in afterwards, because we don't want to be eaten just yet. Unfortunately, we can't place a block here because he stood on the trapdoor, so he's actually occupying this space. But what we can do is just place a temporary block like dirt again on top here, and then we'll just run the rail over, and it should just happily fall straight down into the next step. And you just rinse and repeat all the way down the line. Eventually, once you got the last villager in the row in place, you'll probably have something like this. So you can just go ahead and get rid of all of the temporary blocks and the rails. Just go ahead and break all of these all the way out until we get to somewhere like here, and we can just start breaking some of this away, and we can just replace everything back down. But we do need to place these blocks, which I haven't shown you how to do yet. It's super simple. Above the villager, making sure they're still lowered whilst you do this, place in a stair like that. So above all of the villager slots, we want a stair, and on all of the other blocks, we want a slab going all the way across. And the blocks that I'm currently walking on, we just leave them as they are like that. And then once you've got those into position, we can flick the villagers back up to their regular height, and they are good to go. You can now move on to the next side. This part will probably get quite finicky, time consuming, and maybe just do your head in quite a lot. Villagers tend to do that. That's all part of the fun of it, but it will get done eventually. Just see it through. It'll be worth it. Having a good trading hall is super helpful in Minecraft. Plus, you've already built the trading hall itself, so why not? But of course, go ahead and replace your stairs again and your berry bush. And as for this side over here, you just go in the exact same way and do everything as we've just done. We do the same thing for the top level here. I'll just show you where the entrance point is. So we need to bring our rail up to this point here. And essentially, we're just going to bring it all the way to this spot where we have this trapdoor, which we can break, these two sandstone blocks, and then these two stairs. So we can easily get into this spot. We'll just bring our rails through. You might need to replace that block, this trapdoor, for a full block if you can't do that on bedrock. I'm not honestly sure. But then we get to the chest. So we are going to have to temporarily break these chests as well and just bring these on over. And then we just do the same thing. If these trapdoors happen to cause a problem, they didn't while I was testing it. But if they do, you may need to break them as well. As I said, villagers are finicky. I think we'll have a bit of a break from moving mobs just for a minute before we get the zombie into position, which will be the final thing. But now these villagers are ready to be assigned their job. So gather whichever workstations you would like. I'll let you organize that however you wish among your 36 villagers. But just to keep it simple for the tutorial, I'm going to just stick a lectern in front of every single one. It is probably one of the most popular. So make sure your villager is in the upright position, not down here in ankle nibbling mode. And very simply, we just want to break the placeholder. You don't have to rush and try and click it because we have this trapdoor here. He's not going anywhere. We can just stick this down and he should pretty quickly, depending on the time of day, not a bad trade, be assigned his job role. So then you can just go along and do that for all of the villagers. Sometimes they are a little bit funny in picking up their stuff. It's not really anything to do with my design. It's just kind of the way villagers are. I'll be honest, I haven't really figured them out myself. But you can go along and give them whatever workstation you would like. And then when you're ready and you can cycle through the trades, let's say you don't want feather falling and instead you're really looking for a bookshelf trade, you can go ahead and lock it and he will obviously keep that trade and that profession forever. And if you want to switch it, well, you got to get a new villager. So think carefully, pick carefully, and try not to make any mistakes here because, yeah, we don't want to move those villagers again. So now the fun task of getting 4 zombies into position. If you're thinking, I don't really want to do this, trust me, it'll be worth it. The zombie discounts are insane. So what we're going to do for the bottom level to begin with, we'll get to the top in just a bit. For the bottom level, we're going to come to one of the sides here and we're going to break these 3 blocks right here. These 4 actually, this one too. On this spot, and then this spot over here as well. And essentially this is going to serve as our entrance and escape from the zombie. The idea is we'll get him to follow us into it here. See, this dirt is just here from earlier to stop the villagers from messing around. But we'll get the zombie to follow us in, wait till he's into position, and then we'll quickly sprint out the exit and try and patch him in before he escapes. So what I'm going to recommend you do is you head out in nighttime and find a zombie like this one who will happily pick stuff up. You're going to want to give him a hat so he's going to be able to survive in daylight, which is what we're currently doing right now. Much less stressful than trying to do it in nighttime, especially if we're out in the open like this. And then we're going to give him a sword. It's just going to make, oh, we're going to miss the sword and we're going to try again. We're going to give him a sword because that way he's just going to be able to kill the villagers a lot quicker and it will just make the process much faster. So he's got his hat to survive in daytime. He's got his sword to kill the villagers. We are now ready to take him on inside. So what we're going to do is step in here and we're going to get our spruce planks on the ready. We're going to take him as far as we can right to this spot. And then we're going to hop up here, sprint round here and place this. Now he's stuck and we can replace everything else that we had before. And he is in position. He too is going nowhere. Of course, to get the zombie in the other side downstairs, you just do exactly the same thing, but on the other side of the building. But the top level here, you're going to have to build some sort of staircase so the zombie will follow you up onto the roof. And then what we can do is just break, let's say, these 4 sandstone blocks, I think should work pretty well. They lead directly into where the zombie is going to go, so you chase him in here, or he'll chase you. Follow him around and just did exactly what we did for the bottom level, but up to the top. It should be pretty simple once you get the hang of it. In case you're not sure, I'll just give you a little example of how this actually works. So of course, you probably understand how trading works. You trade with the villager, get them up to eventually master level, which is what I've done with this guy right here. And as you can see, he's already got some discounted trades because I've been trading with him. But it's not enough. I want the zombie discount. So we plunge this guy down into the zombie pit. Now, this is not super reliable. It's not really with any villager trading system because the zombie can get distracted by you for a start. So what I recommend doing is if the zombie is not straight away going to fight the villager, just kind of go around the back here and just patiently wait. And eventually you'll hear damage noises, and that only took a couple of hits because we have the sword. Then we can flick him back up. He's a villager, or he's a zombie villager I should say. We can splash him with some weakness, give him a golden apple. He will eventually be cured and have some discounted trades. And you can kind of do that quite a few times until you get to the lowest possible trades. And you can end up getting crazy trades like mending books for just a single emerald. So there we go everybody, that is how you build a villager trading hall in Minecraft. I really hope this video has helped you out. Thank you ever so much for watching, especially if you've made it this far all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Thank you for doing that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.